Hello, my name is Jan Welch, and you're watching the Then and Now Blading podcast. This is episode 27. My guest today is Lauric Picard. He's a skater from Switzerland living in Montreal. I was lucky enough to meet Lauric a couple years ago and skate with him. He came to Vermont. We did some skating at the Vermont Blade Camp. I skated with him in Montreal. Let's go ahead and bring Lauric on the show. Lauric.
Hi. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I hear you way better. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but it sounds great. So good to see you. How's your day going?
My day was going great. I had a great day at work.
Nice.
It went really well. So, yeah.
Cool. So you are originally from Switzerland, and now you're living in Montreal. You've been there for over a year, right? Why did you end up moving to Montreal?
It's a few things got into my decision. So I'm half Canadian from my dad. So right now I'm living at my grandparents. And so I had a lot easier to move there because I was already Canadian. And I'm currently living at my grandparents. So that helped a lot.
Wow, that's also cool.
And at first I was supposed to go there for 6 months just to have a new experience and try to work there also, because getting a work in Canada is way much easier than in Switzerland.
Okay.
And I just ended up staying, and I moved there now, and I live, actually live in Montreal now.
Yeah, it's really cool because you went back home for Christmas, back to Switzerland.
Yeah,
and then you
exactly.
came back permanently.
Yeah, exactly.
And awesome. And how is Montreal compared to Switzerland? You're from Lausanne, first of all, in Lausanne, Switzerland, which is the French-speaking part of Switzerland. So Lausanne is known for its skating history, and so is Montreal. So now, with that comparison, what is Lausanne like compared to Montreal, and what do you miss about Lausanne?
I miss honestly more my social life there, because obviously I grew up there, so I knew way more people, and all of my friends are from there. But unfortunately, the rollerblade scene wasn't really popping there. For the longest time, I was the only one. I thought I was the only one in Switzerland to be my age, and definitely the only one to be my age and at my level at that point. And so moving in Montreal was a big change for me, because all of a sudden I just started to have session with like 5 people. And for me, having 5 people on a basic session just to skate with is like the best thing ever, because in Switzerland I grew up skating alone most of the time, and when I was with skater or scooter rider. And I had a few friends who were doing roller, but we were like 3. And it's kind of difficult to motivate yourself when you're only like you and your 2 best friends. So yeah, the rollerblade scene, unfortunately, is really small in Switzerland.
Well, it's sad because Lausanne was known for the huge contests, all the skating, the downhilling. I know that there's some skaters that live in Lausanne that like still do downhill and stuff. Do you see like rec skaters?
There is still, for example, Maxime Genoux, who's still doing downhill and skating a lot, but unfortunately, most of the rollerblade scene in Lausanne kind of got older, and no one was there to take their place. So when they started to have real job and family for some people, kids, they just couldn't continue to skate that much, and just to skate in general wasn't that much into their habit anymore. So yeah.
So you're only 18 years old.
Yeah.
When did you start skating? And you're like a newer generation of skaters. So how long have you actually been skating? And how did you get into skating?
I've been skating for 8 years, 7 years, 8 years. I started when I just turned 11, I think, from my calculation. And I've been just doing rollerblades since I'm 5 or 4. Since I'm really young, because my dad was doing hockey, so he put us on roller as soon as he can. And we were just rolling around. I tried skateboarding the year I started roller, but I'm just gonna. Okay, yeah. But I really didn't like the fact that I needed 6 months to learn how to jump, so to do a ollie.
Right.
And I tried one time with my roller, and it felt so natural and so good that
Uh-oh.
I just kept going, and I never stopped.
Well, that's really cool. And when you started skating when you were 11, was there some other skaters back then, or has it always just been you?
I mean, there were some older blader, but unfortunately, I wasn't really a part. I didn't felt a part of the community at all in Switzerland in roller because they were like 10 year older than me, and I was 10. Like right now, I have some friends in Montreal who are 20 years older than me, but I'm 18, and so it's really different. But no, I basically grew up skating alone. At some point, a guy who my people might know named Diego Lupi, I don't know, yeah.
I'm not familiar with them.
He was the guy who was organizing the Lausanne event when it came
Okay.
back. So
All
the
right.
first year it was other people, but when it came back in the 2008, maybe, I don't know, but when he came back, he was one of the guy organizing that. And he's been my mentor and roller, and he really helped me. We did a lot of skate, for example, and till this day, like a year ago, before I left from Montreal, he still beat me in skate while being completely in switch.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, and
That's really cool.
I wasn't bad technically at that point, but he just a level more.
Now, you've been skating some competitions. You won Blading Cup AM, was 2 years ago. And what's your
A year
comp?
ago,
A
Blading
year
Cup,
ago?
yeah.
Okay. And what's your competition history? Did you compete in Europe in any events? Did you
Yes,
travel for skating?
yes. I used to compete a lot in Europe. Actually, I was a lot on the French circuit because in Switzerland we were like three of my age, and I was going in Dijon. That's like 45 minutes away train from Lausanne, maybe an hour or something. And all of a sudden there were 15 bladers, all doing misty flips and backflips and everything you can imagine, my age. So I
Wow.
was going at every roller competition I could in France, and I learned a lot. It's a different kind of competition than we can find in North America. It's really more on the performance. It's more like a feast,
Okay.
definitely. Like kids were learning how to do misty flip before doing a soul grind. So I learned a lot in competition in France, how to do a clean run and how to prepare a run, and like yeah, I did a lot of competition in Europe before. I went in pretty much every country aside of Switzerland, plus Amsterdam for the winter clash. I went in Italy for a few times for events. I went in every city in France, almost every big city. I went in Germany. Yeah, pretty much everywhere I could go for a competition, I was going.
That's really cool. And then how old were you when you started traveling for those competitions?
At first, it was with my parents. So I think the year I started, or a year after I started, I did the NL contest in
Oh, wow.
Strasbourg.
Uh-huh.
And that was my first ever competition, and I was with the amateur because there were no kids category, and that was a big thing to do for first competition. Um, but then I wait. Sorry, I got distracted. um,
I was when your first competition you're
oh
talking
yeah, my
about.
first competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, my yeah, it was. I think I still have the yeah. Wait, let me check. There is the date. Yeah, I was 11 at my first competition, and it was in Dijon, and I did first place in the category 12 and under,
Wow.
and
That's really cool.
yeah, it was my first real competition because before I did the NL contest, but I was with the amateur. It wasn't really a competition at this point. I had no chance, but yeah, the thing I'm really stoked about is that I came back in 2019, I think, and I did second in professional. So almost, I think, 5, 6 years after
Yeah,
my first competition, I went back and did a
that's really
competition.
cool. What was the your favorite competition you skated in?
I think Winter Clash, or like my first few Winter Clash, I think I went 3 times there. I just loved, I just loved it. Like all of a sudden, I was. That's the first time I met Montre, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember my first Winter Clash ever, or my second. I was doing a game of skate with Montre and Danilo, Danilo Seda from Brazil, I think, and that was just so unreal for me. I was um, entouré. I was surrounded by skaters, and at every competition, what motivated me is like to have other people who share the same passion as me, because I was kind of the only one in Switzerland. I mean, Switzerland in Lausanne, and at my age in Switzerland, I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was going in competition, it was mostly to just ride with other people who share my passion. So Winter Clash, I think, was my favorite.
Yeah, that's really cool, and I love Winter Clash as well. It's so
Yeah.
many people, such good energy,
Yes.
and it's just insane. It's crazy, and
Yeah.
you definitely get a lot of inspiration, and you meet a lot of people. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's really cool. You got to experience that multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I look at your skating, I've seen you skate here in Vermont and Montreal. You definitely have a almost a competition style. Like you could tell that you skated in contests in
Yeah.
France,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Definitely.
you probably grew up skating park. There used to be a skate park in Lausanne. Is it? Do they still have an indoor skate park there?
Yes, they
La,
still have. Actually, they still have the same ball than when they created it.
it was
So
like La
if you went
Havre or
there,
something, or what's it called?
it's a skate park HS36,
Okay,
HS36, La Fièvre, the
wow.
fever in English, and it opened 25 years ago, and they built a ball, and it's almost exactly the same. They add some extension and some. They changed a bit, like for example, one of the corner was like a real volcano, and now it's like a round thing.
Okay,
And yeah, it's still the same. And I grew up skating in an indoor skate park with a flat ledge with the round coping, and I didn't really knew until I came here, but it's not normal. I mean, not normal. Most people grew up skating, learning all of the top side on a square ledge
hmm
or a rail, and yeah, it's a lot easier when you have the right equipment and
yeah. A
have the
lot of
perfect
a lot
equipment.
of parks here have the square coping. You've probably seen that since you've moved.
Yeah,
Skating in Vermont and Montreal.
yeah,
Now, being 18, there wasn't a lot of skaters your same age throughout Europe, but there's a few skaters your age. What was it like? Did you guys have a community? Because my generation, we have a community, and a lot of us are disconnected from your generation because you're someone who could be most of our kid, age
yeah,
wise.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so a lot of people don't know about skaters in your generation. Like, what do you like? Do you have a connection with skaters in your age group? Like, do you have a community, or do you just interact with the older skaters mainly?
Mainly in Montreal, all of my friends are more than 25, and it go up to 40, 45. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I do try to talk a lot with the younger skater on Instagram. Like I don't know, when I was on Ankle, I was talking a lot with on Everall.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the amateur from Iqon, that's
Yeah.
really good. Jayun also, we've been talking a bit on Instagram. Danilo here there. I mean, yeah, I try to, when I see a younger guy or a guy my age, just to like talk with him, and because we're not a lot, and we're like really separated from each other around the globe. So
Yeah. There was a video that came out recently, Future, that had
yes,
a lot of kids your age in it,
yeah,
which I'll have a link in the description below. I talked about it in my last show I did with Frank Stoner, but that's a really cool cross section of skaters
hmm,
around your age from around the world, and it's really interesting to see because it's like the first edit I've seen in 20 years. It's just kids one age.
Yeah.
And you do you know most of those kids?
I know most of them. Yeah. I can't remember every name, but I know who organized it is Tiba from Germany. He contacted me. I was supposed to be in it, but I didn't manage to get a street clip for that. And I wasn't at the time. I had someone around me who had a camera able to film me and to go street because one of my best friend in Montreal, who I film a lot with, unfortunately got injured, and I had competition in preparation, like the Montreal Cup, for example. So I couldn't get clips, but yeah, I knew most of them already from Instagram. Instagram really connect us, the younger generation.
So growing up in the younger generation, what do you know about skating history? Like, do you like follow it? Do you research it, or do you know nothing about it? Like, from stuff from the '90s, 2000s. Like, is there like how? What do you know about it?
I don't know a lot about it. I I didn't grow up with people who teach me the roller culture in a way, and yeah, I basically know nothing about it, and I didn't knew that I knew nothing before I arrived here. Some people try to do my education, but there is so much to catch back on it.
Right. I mean, it's a long time. I mean, you were born the same year we were filming Leading the Blind, the 4x4
Yeah,
video.
yeah,
And before that, I already made a lot of videos. Sandro, who lives in Montreal, he had a
yeah,
section in one of my videos from 2000, and and he's still ripping it. And Sandro's in the live chat right now,
yeah.
and he
Hi, Sandro.
says, "Amazing, this guy, it's a machine."
Nah, he's a machine.
You guys are
He's a
both
machine.
machines. And Sandro, I mean, he's like a fine wine. He's just gets better the older
Yeah,
he gets.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of history in skating. I mean, what skaters inspired you, or did you look up to in your like upbringing? Coming up in skating. Do you have like a
Um,
favorite skaters?
I right now I don't have it anymore. I have a lot of skater that I love watch.
Mm-hmm.
Basically every skater that kind of seek different than others. That's not gonna try to just do like the craziest trick, but maybe the most interesting trick. Or when I see a different approach on an obstacle, I really find that interesting, and I'm trying to go more into that, but bringing my technicality in it. But I think for the longest time, Brian Aragon was my biggest inspiration.
And Brian Aragon's someone who hasn't really been skating for quite a while.
Yeah.
Professionally. Did you go back and watch his old videos?
I did, but it's funny because I was always watching the same kind of video in repeat. It was more in the end of his career, I think. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of video without colors, for example. Like most of the videos were like produced by around the time Razor Swag was made.
Okay.
I don't know if you, yeah. And so yeah, for me he was a park skater, but I learned that he was really really good in street, and then I started to like watch more street. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I feel like I've just been skating. Like I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't trying to like do my idol or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was just skating, and even now I don't watch a lot of roller video. I try to watch as much as I can at the one who come out. So I think I watch every roller video that come out like the last few months. But for the longest time, I was just doing roller, and that was it.
Do you
And
have
I
a
was
favorite video that's come out recently?
I love Cash Only by the Bodega Boys.
Yeah, that's good.
It's not aggressive skating. It's more wizard. But the JK video is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the name, but that one. um, what's the one? I watched one yesterday. Uh, oh yeah, the Scott Quinn video is amazing.
I haven't seen it yet. I
Yeah.
need to watch that. I'm
Oh,
sure
you
it's
need to
really
watch.
good.
Yeah, it's really really good. Like the artistic direction and the tricks are really really well made.
Cool. Yeah,
Everything
I mean, he's such a great skater.
put together. Yeah, yeah,
And the Bodega Boys, you got to be in some of their reels on your Instagram page from the Vermont road trip.
yeah, yeah. I did. I met them on the trip.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're
I
all
met
really cool.
David. Is that right? Wait.
There's
I'm
there's I'm having a brain fart right now.
terrible with names. I'm like it's in roller community. I love everyone in roller, but I can never remember names of anyone, and that's a big problem.
I wanted to ask you. So I want to go to Montre. So you met Montre at Winter Clash, and
Yeah,
then did you also go to blading camp?
yeah. I met him at Winter Clash, and I said to him that I was going to a blading camp, and then we saw each other in blading camp, and I think he started following me on Instagram after that, and like over the years, he started like to like my post a bit more, to comment on my post, to answer my stories sometime, and when he started the Iqon project, he contacted me, and I was one of the first rider on the team.
I remember that because I interviewed him right around that time,
Yeah.
and we talked about you on there. And so Icon is an interesting brand because it's brand new, had tons of stuff, and you were
Mhm.
skating on the AG10s, right? The carbon ones.
Yeah, yeah, full carbon. Yeah.
And how were the skates? I mean, you skated for quite a
They are
while. Now you've quit and you're in Roces, but I want to hear about like the Icon skates, how everything went with that, and then why did you end up quitting the team?
So technically, they're the best kit you can ask for. They are really light. They have a wide sole plate. They are made of really, really good material, and yeah, they're overall. I quit it, but I can still say they're amazing skates. But I didn't felt like the brand image was really strong, and I unfortunately didn't felt like I was a part. I mean, I was a part of something, but no one really connected us. We didn't. None of us had the same style. None of us really had the same approach. The whole idea is really good, but I felt like something went missing,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt like I needed change also because I was with them for a year and I've changed so much in a year. I moved in Montreal. I started like being a professional, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I needed change.
Well, I
And
understand. With the team is so spread out. I mean, all around the
yeah,
world. It's
yeah,
not like like Mesmer or something where they all kind of live in the same town and they get together all the time and they're like a big family. Which you spent some time with the Mesmer guys in New York during Bashika.
yeah,
What
I
was
did.
that like? Did that have some sort of factor in you feeling the way you did with your Icon?
Um, I was it's been a while. I was thinking about quitting Icon because I really liked the roller and everything was working really fine. They supported me a lot too, and I can't be thankful enough for that. But yeah, I felt like I needed something more. I needed to be a part of something bigger. Yeah, I needed also to like I don't know go a bit more street, even though I'm still doing mostly park.
Mm-hmm.
Just like yeah, I needed a change of image, kind of.
I feel
And
that.
yeah, not necessarily Mesmer, but my trip in New York convinced me to switch team, to change to Roches.
And so, Roces, how did you get on Roces? Like, who do you know? Did you
Uh,
call them up? Did somebody help you get on?
yeah, Bobby Spasov.
Okay.
Because we were talking. We were talking on Instagram. He was answering to my story. I was answering to his story. Sometime we're like having a little discussion, And at some point, he said that he would like me to have me on the team and that he appreciated my skating. And I was at that point kind of done with Iqon. I was thinking about maybe changing things. I didn't really knew what to do, and I felt like that was the opportunity I was missing, and so I just go on it. And yeah, but Bobby put me on. Yeah.
And what's your position on Roces? Like they just hooking you up, or are you gonna get? Is it gonna be a little bit more than that?
For now, they just hook me up. They give me what I need in roller. Um, yeah, I receive roller for now, and I'll see in the future if something will change.
And you're on which skates are you on from Roces now?
The Fifth Element, Savos in India, the Aquamarine.
And those are very crazy looking skates. I've seen new
Yeah,
clips of you skating them, and you look really good on them. I feel like,
yeah,
I mean, the Icons look good too, but I feel like, you pull these skates off. The
yeah,
colors scheme is definitely. I think I like them, but I don't know if everyone can rock with them, but
yeah,
you look really good on those skates, so that's pretty cool to see.
yeah.
How do they feel? Like, was it a big change going from the Roces? I mean, from the Icons to the Roces?
They feel perfect. I mean, I've always been L shell size in roller
Mm-hmm.
since I don't know 4 or 5 years because I've my feet grew up pretty quickly, so I quickly had a 10 and a half size. And so for the longest time, I was on an L shell. And with Roches, someone told me that I could downsize them to an M. And that really convinced me. And when I tried them at the shop in Montreal, Boutique Solo Online, it just felt so right. It was just like my feet. And now I'm skating downsized roller. So it's like 8, 9
Mm-hmm.
size roller. And yeah, they feel just perfect. I think I was just having the wrong size of roller since I've begun roller.
That seems to be a common issue.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I talked to Robert Guerrero about as well. Have you skated with him yet? We skated with him in Sherbrooke with Robert Guerrero.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think my session was already done when
okay,
he arrived. Unfortunately, yeah,
because
because
he was in Montreal on Monday or something with Mathieu Ledoux.
yeah, it was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah. I was working unfortunately, but he linked up with Matt Ledoux and Imani,
Okay.
and Imani asked me to come, but I was working, so I couldn't.
And Emery's been in town filming his vault video,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah.
vault tour. And have you been getting some street clips for that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We got some clip. He's gonna come back in a few months to do more. But I did get some street clip in
I
that.
look forward to that because most of the clips I've seen of you are from park skating.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'd be really interested to see some street footage of you. And like Montreal, for those of you who don't know, Montreal is a huge city and it's got a really big blading scene that was kind of revitalized by a lot of French skaters that moved there several years ago. And then
Mhm.
Sandro moved there, and then you moved there, and they've got building a lot of parks, and they have um, nice indoor parks for the winter, and they have a lot of like urban skaters. There's, it's just skating in general is pretty big there. You all right?
Yeah. I'm kind of sick, but I'm alright.
so, so
Yeah.
Montreal, it's probably one of the biggest cities on the East Coast for skating. So you
Mhm.
ended up in a town that's where you grew up. There was no skating, and then you moved to a city with a lot of skating, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
skaters, and there's a lot of really good skaters. And I know you skate with Max Synth and Maxime a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah. Yeah.
and those guys are quite a bit older than you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you guys all have a very unique style. And those guys are really good. And
Yeah.
you were my three favorite people to watch
Oh.
skate together when I go there, for Shop
Yeah.
Boutique
Yeah. Yeah.
events. And, they were also in Vermont for the Vermont trip, which is really
Mhm.
cool. Is that who you skate with the most? Is there other people you skate with quite a bit?
I skate a lot with Maxence. Maxence was the guy who was filming me. I was talking to you about who hurt himself.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been able to skate for the last 2 months because
Oh, wow.
his talon, um, like that's my foot under. I don't know
Okay.
the name that in English, but like
Did it heal there?
yeah, like the 100 foot. And yeah, I'm skating a lot with him, Maxime Lantier, so the guy with the dance skate.
Yep.
Also Marc Paradis, Marc Etienne.
And he's in live chat.
Oh yeah, exactly. Marc Paradis, exactly. Yeah, I'll marry you. Yeah, exactly. I skate a lot with him. With also a lot of older French guy who actually knew the guy who taught me roller, kind of. I mean, they were on the French scene a while ago, so they kind of met each other. And yeah, people from all around the world, because like there is Sandro, there is the French guys, there is some Quebecois with Maxime and Me Paradis and Maxence. There is who is there more? There is also some OG from the scene who were skating back in the day with the Distractor shop and everything. I mean,
we got Dennis Rabbi is an old school.
Yeah, Montreal guy is an old school. Unfortunately, he have kids and a family, so it's kind of hard to have the same time to skate. But we've skated together a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually worked. He worked at the Daily Bread magazine in San Diego when I was there in about 2001. That's when I first met him. So I've known him for like 21 years.
Oh, that's older than me.
I know. It's funny,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, another thing that's made Montreal really awesome for skating in the past year is there's a shop there now, and that's Boutique Solo Inline, and you skate for the shop along with Maxence, or who else is on the team? It's
Maxence
you.
And Denis. Maxence and
Yeah, okay, and Denny are all on the team. And David runs the shop, and it's an amazing shop. They have like 100 different skates. They have all the Grefsa skates, all the Rex skates. Like, it's amazing. It's really, I think, been a really good asset to the Montreal scene, and they've been organizing camping events in the early summer around Quebec. They did Montreal Cup, which you skated in. What was that like? Like, it's been a long time since they had a kind of outdoor competition in Montreal.
Yeah. It was huge. Everyone was so stoked about it. Everyone, the 2-3 months before, everyone was like, "Yeah, I'm training for Montreal Cup." Everyone was really hyped. Everyone was skating. After it, though, everyone was hurt, so skating kind of slowed down after. But yeah, it was so cool to have an event like that back, bringing us together, bringing Ottawa and Toronto guys, and even some guys from the US and from Vancouver even, I think. I mean, there were people from all over Canada and border US. So
it was a really good comp.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Hopefully it gets bigger next year. And it was like, it was like Blading Cup where they've added quad skating to it. So I think that made the energy really fun. David organized a Friday night skate and got everybody together. I had a really good time for that event. So I'm looking forward to going. I'm actually going to go there the weekend after next. I mentioned that to you before.
We'll see.
Going to go skate with David a little bit. Denny said he's going to mark it down on his calendar. So get us a couple sessions in. Let me see. I wanted to get into
about the Montreal Cup.
Yeah,
we're definitely gonna do it back next year, and it's gonna be really big. So everyone who's watching it, come to Montreal next summer. We'll do a super cool event, and it's gonna be even better than the first year, because obviously first mistake, but second year we learn from that, and a lot of people are motivated by the product, and so come.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I think made it with not as many people is they didn't have an Instagram page, so it was hard to share it. I could never share it with anybody because there's nothing to share, So next year, a little bit more social media, I think, will help get the people there. Also, you don't need to go to Canada. You don't have to have a vaccination anymore, so that's probably stopped some people from going too. So that'll get people going again. Now, I wanted to ask you, as far as English goes, when did you learn English? You're from a French speaking part of Switzerland. You live in Montreal. English is not really a native language to either one, but your English is pretty good. Where did you learn English? Was it coming from traveling a lot for skating, or did you learn in school?
Traveling for skating. Both of my parents wanted us to speak as much English as we could. We were trying to watch movies in English with the subtitle at first, and then without. I had a lot of international friends in Switzerland who were in private school, so they would only speak English. And for a time, I was hanging out a lot with them, so I just learned English by smoking joint with them and just hanging out with them every day.
Wow, that's
And,
cool.
I never actually learned English in the school system or whatever. I really learned English by speaking it and by trying and by making mistake, and it just
I feel like that's the same thing for a lot of the skaters in Europe that are
Yeah.
from countries where English is not as common. Just being at events all the time, you just learn English because it's the universal language between skaters.
Yeah.
When you're
that
traveling.
also really motivated me to just start speaking like that and just try. I just saw that Liam Gradeville is on the chat.
Oh, and he gave
well,
5. What is that? Swiss francs?
Yeah, Swiss francs. Yeah.
Cool. Nice to see the youth on the podcast. And this is one of your friends?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I only met him a few times only in Switzerland. He's from Switzerland. He's a young guy that's really good. I'd suggest everyone to go see him. He's 16.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Correct me, Liam, if I'm wrong. But yeah, unfortunately, he really started popping off and leveling up in his skating when I was away. But I see him on Instagram, and he's one of the young guys to check on it, I think.
That's cool. You have to send me his Instagram page, and I can check it out. And I'll try to add it to the description in this video after we do the premiere. It's always interesting. One thing, like starting with you today, most of my shows, or all of my shows I've done, the past 26 episodes have been with people that I've known throughout my career in skating. But I want to focus on younger people. So having you on the show is really cool. And I want to have some more younger generation skaters on here, to find out about their skating and what they know and, who their inspirations are and what their take is on skating. Liam says he turns 16 next week. So happy birthday, Liam.
Mm-hmm. And also I saw, I forgot to tell it, but I'm starting to skate a lot with the quad community in Montreal, and the vibe is so different and I love it. It's not better or less good, but it's just so wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I've also started kind of quad. Yeah, I mean, started. I want to start, and I did that 1 or 2 times.
Did you get some quads ready?
I'm trying to get on some quads. Yeah.
Nice. The quad thing has been interesting to me because the past several years it's gotten very intermixed. A lot of events together, and it's really fun energy. And Blading Cup was amazing. Blading Cup I thought was so much better because they added the quads and the positive energy from the quads, because everyone's so excited and happy. Typically at inline contests, everyone's pretty serious, and there people, they're beginners and they're landing a trick and they're just super stoked. And it spread to the inline skaters, and I thought it made the whole event really fun. So that's really cool. You're doing that. We're doing an event Saturday in Western Mass in North Adams, and it's going to be an inline quad fall get together. Me and Miles are hosting it, so it's a big skate park in Western Massachusetts. So yeah, that should be pretty fun. I actually got a pair of quads. I got a pair of the Kayas or Chaya, or however you pronounce it. I got some of those, so I haven't had a chance to skate them yet, but I will be bringing those to the skate park this weekend. We got David. Jan. Yes, Jan, we'll do an Instagram page for Montreal Cup next year, so all the Americans and international skaters will know about it. Perfect, David, and I will be there to help spread the word as much as I can. And Stefan asks, when is the Montreal Cup? David, if you have a date set, you can go ahead and post that in the conversation below, or maybe a month for ballpark.
But the thing that's going to change for the next Montreal Cup, I can't pronounce myself entirely on that, But from what I understood, it's gonna be more with an association thing.
Okay.
So we hope on creating a roller association in Montreal that's gonna organize the Montreal Cup. And so it's gonna be. It was a big community thing, but it's gonna be actually like all of the community of Montreal doing it, and putting work into that. Because the first year was mostly solo organizing, and next year we're gonna try to um, really push more on bringing us together to create something.
Cool. That's really exciting. And yeah, I'm always down to assist. Matthias, give that boy some bell bottoms.
Yeah, give me some bell. Give me your bell bottom, Matthias.
So going back to being a younger skater,
Yeah.
how do you feel that companies in the industry pay attention to the youth? Is there anything targeting the younger skaters, or is everything targeted towards people in their 30s and 40s? What's your
More,
take on that?
way more people in their 30s or 40s, obviously.
And now, is there?
Not
I mean, I do think I think most company owners in their 30s and 40s, so they don't pay attention to the youth.
Mhm.
Is there any brands that have been paying attention to youth? I know Iqon had a young team, but
I
besides
feel,
that, have you noticed anything growing up? Any brands that
um,
kind of reached out to the younger skaters?
I guess Dem Skate would with the I mean mostly with the Korean guy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they are doing that with other riders, but from what I've seen, it's mostly the AL school in Korea. I think Roces do it. For example, with Savazin, I think he's a young skater. I don't really know where their limit is, but I guess giving someone in his 20s a pro model like that
Mm-hmm.
um, show something about the brand. USD does it too. They have, for example, Danilo and Nicoli from Brazil, who are really young on the team. They probably have a lot of other young riders. I don't have all of the name in head, but I feel like companies are trying more and more to do it. But when I grew up, I really felt like I was not taking in consideration by the
Mm-hmm.
brand. I mean, not as a rider, like not as a not provider, but not as a like sponsor thing, but more as just a young guy who do roller,
Yeah,
like just having.
that's kind of what I was thinking. Like just like a brand for kids, or like back in the 90s, a lot of brands like Senate, which I don't know if you've even heard of Senate because it's so old, but they targeted young kids, and there's not
Yeah.
really any brands doing that. What do you think brands should be doing to focus more on the younger generation?
Oh, I need to charge my phone. I'll answer that and I'll get my charger.
Okay.
What they should be doing. I mean, I think in general we need roller to be more cool, if it makes sense. Like all of the roller clothing, most of the brand who do clothing in roller, uh, like um, like a roller brand who do clothing, are like really limited in their design when I compare to skating, where anyone could wear a skateboard shirt and be like, "Yo, that's sick." But I hardly know any brand in roller who does the same, except maybe Mesmer and Demskate, and that's missing at least for more like teenager. And for kids, we would need actual roller for kids, not some transformer thing, or because most of the kids who start roller have the transformer. I started with the transformer razors or something. I can't
Oh
remember,
wow.
but and then quickly it wasn't good enough, and so I had to get adult skate in the adult size because the kid skate wasn't good enough for
Mm-hmm.
me to progress. So maybe smaller skate that could also help the girl in skating, because I mean it's getting way better. But for a long time, I knew some girl around me in Switzerland who just couldn't get a pair of skate at their size.
Yeah, that's a
And
great idea.
yeah, I think also, yeah, marketing. to younger people, because most of the marketing now is for older blader, and it's not bad because it's what we have, and brand needs to sell their products, so they need to address to the customer. But we need to seek out more for them, because younger generation is not just gonna come like that. We need
No.
people doing initiation, doing roller classes. Um, yeah, just showing that roller exists actually, because everyone know what roller is. Everyone know, like everyone at least did 1 or 2 time roller in their life, but no one knows about aggressive roller somehow. And it was such a huge thing, and people just it disappeared from people's mind. It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. I mean, certain countries I feel like it hasn't disappeared too much, but I know like Germany was very unpopular for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, France seems like it's always had some pockets where it's been really big continuously.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lausanne, like you said, it's not doing so hot.
Yeah.
Did you ever skate any of the like in Zurich, any of the German parts of Switzerland?
I did for competition and sometime just for a session like that. I skated uh, in Zurich a few times in the skate park, in Wetzikon, for example, too. In Basel, I think. I mean, a
Okay,
lot of also just kind of lost little small town or village. But I didn't explore that much. I feel like right now I would have liked to be in Switzerland, just to have like the skate park in the street there, because I love Montreal skate park and Montreal street, but it's just not the same. It's a different architecture. It's a different way of building skate parks. So yeah, I yeah.
cool. So I didn't get a follow up with you on this a few days ago, but I had sent you a link to a video I made called
Yeah.
Last Call, which had Albert Huey's first section that was half filmed in Lausanne. Did you get a chance to watch that?
I only watched the first 10 minutes, but the
Okay.
first thing I noticed is in the first 5 minutes or something, they are jumping in water
Yeah.
in a
And
lake in Switzerland, and that's the exact spot I was going to jump all summer when I was in Switzerland.
that's
Because
funny.
the bowl of Vidi, that's right on the side of the lake.
Hmm.
It's 10 minutes ago, and I used to just go every day with my best friend there and skate and jump in the lake. And just like a few meters aside of that, there was the place I started partying. It's like a park where everyone gather from high school, like just
Okay.
a bunch of group gather, and so it was just the perfect place for me in summer. I was
That's really
skating all
cool.
day, jumping in the lake, and then partying there during the night. So
That was really close to where they had the Lausanne contest at.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what we're. Yeah, but if you get a chance to check it out, I'd like to
I need to-
hear
yeah, yeah. I need
about some other spots because Albert Huey's section was half filmed in Lausanne, and I'd be curious if your spots are still skatable, if you skated them, or if they're all gone because it's been
yeah.
it was 1999, so that's a long time ago. I'm sure Lausanne has changed quite a bit
Yeah.
from way before you were born. And hobbies outside of skating, did you do any other sports? Did you do any skiing growing up? Did you do
Yeah.
any cycling, anything else?
Skiing. I did ski as soon as I could ski like roller. My parents put me on ski, and a lot of people think I was doing ski before roller because a lot of my rotation are ski inspired kind of. I get that a lot from skiers, so I don't know if it's actually the case, but I get that a lot. But yeah, I've skied a lot. I've skied since I'm 4, 3.
Awesome.
I don't know
That's really
since
cool. I
someone
wish
could.
I would have started skiing when I was 3 or 4.
Yeah, yeah, it helped a lot with roller too, because the risk is so different. And what I like the most is that you see a mountain. I mean, when you're up on a ski course, not a snow park, just a ski course. I just see that like a big skate park. It's like a
Hmm.
slopestyle. There is a jump there, jump that, and if you have enough speed, you can also go off that. And that's what I like the most in roller. Also, is doing lines. Most of That's why I seems like I could have a competition approach, and I do have. It's that every time I skate, I try to make lines and like to find like I don't know, do a old acid line, old school line, or just in general do lines.
Wow,
Really
that's
get
rad.
me going. Yeah,
There's a lot of really creative skiers these days, and there's a lot of crossover between skiing and
yeah,
blading. Is there any skiers that you
like Savoni.
follow?
Savoni. Yeah, yeah. Henrik Allroth. He's a big inspiration. Henrik Holland. You've probably heard about him. Um, there is also Thibaut Magnan. He's a
Hmm.
guy I used to do roller with, and now he's on the movement ski team, and he's really really good. He do tricks like I don't get skiing honestly. Like the level is so high, it's crazy. It, I can't understand how they do
Yeah, I
that.
mean, some of the videos you watch are just, I mean, technical skiing and just big stuff. I mean, you're dropping
Yeah,
off 8-story buildings into
yeah.
snowbank or these massive cliffs and, you know,
Street
200-foot
skiing,
jumps.
street skiing is like a dream for me. Like you can just go there. There is no spot, but you can build a 3 meter high jump to ski on that roof and do a grind on the roof. That's just crazy. And I'd love to do the same in roller, but it's concrete, so too hard
Yeah.
to do more.
And have you done any skiing in Quebec?
No, no, not yet. I want to try this year, but I don't really know if it's worth it. Coming from the Alp, where most of the station I was going was like top tier station in the world. I didn't even knew. I was just for me it was a regular station.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, it's still worth it because it's fun.
Yeah, no, for
And
sure I will
and
do it.
and what's
But
fun about the mountains, a lot of the mountains in this area is it's just dense trees that are really fun to ski through.
yeah,
So it's like technical skiing. You know, maybe like not the train parks are good or whatever, but as far as like technical skiing, um, J Peak in Vermont has the steepest inbound
yeah.
terrain.
Vermont seems really cool to ski. We talked
So
about it last.
yeah. So if
What?
you do want to ski this winter, you could come
Yeah,
stay here with some of your friends. I know a bunch of the Montreal guys ski. I'm sure somebody has a setup you can borrow.
yeah, yeah. There is actually a group of skater who ski. They're the ski boys, and one of the guys on the group chat, Louis Charles Paquette, do a backflip. He said he's one of the skier boys, and yeah, I need to ski in North America this winter.
I think it's funny every time I go to a skate park and there's like some random little kids. All they always say do a backflip. I don't know how this like phrase got out to every little kid, you know, that sees the rollerblader to tell them to do a
It's
backflip.
it's like it, it's the first because front flip is like kind of everyone can do it because you have to throw yourself just
Uh-huh.
front, but backflip is I mean, backflip is also in a way a really easy trick to do. So it's kind of funny that it's that one that everyone chooses to agree it's a hard trick because it's really impressive. But if you're not scared, it's the easiest trick to do, the easiest rotation. Front flip is harder than a backflip. It's just less scary.
I
So
I've only done them off swimming pools, so I don't have any and
you
trampolines.
need to come to the Taz. I'll teach it to you in the foam pit in the Taz.
Remember last time I was at Taz? I like hit my ass in the coping super hard. And almost broke my tailbone.
Yes, yes, that was so bad. Oh, and I saw the fall. It looks so painful.
Oh, and I had to drive back to my house 2.5 hours. So
Yeah.
and so this past winter you weren't in Montreal. So this winter you're gonna be in Montreal.
Yeah.
And skating wise, it's only skate park basically. Are you just gonna skate park? I mean, all winter, or I think that's skiing. Skiing would be a good balance
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
because you're not
But
gonna go skate every day. You know, I'm sure the
I,
skate park's expensive.
I'll skate every day anyway. I have a chance because my parents really support me, and they still do. That's why I did so many competition in France because they've always got with me or had me going, or even now they still have me. So, fortunately enough, they helped me to pay my
Okay,
skateboard entry.
that's nice. That's very
But
cool.
yeah, if I wasn't, I think I wouldn't skate every day for sure.
Well, that's really cool. Your parents are supportive of skating. You know, a
Yeah,
lot of skaters parents weren't supportive of their skating. So,
Yeah.
mine were, and obviously yours are, and that's really cool to see that. Um, letting him pursue your passions. And what is your? Do you have a goal in skating? Is there some
Um,
place you want to be in skating? Like, would you like to see your future in skating be?
I just want to skate, and I think now for me the best way to keep skating the older I can is to find a way to make money out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm just trying to skate the best I can and push it more on social media too. I've been a lot on Instagram lately. I'm trying to be on TikTok more also. But yeah, I don't know. I really just want to skate. That's that's the only thing um, that I really wanted to do in life. Actually, that saved me for so many years and from so many things too. I think without skating, I definitely wouldn't be the same person, and I don't think I'll be in a really good position. But because of skating, I moved 6,000 kilometers away. I met amazing people. I've been traveling since I'm 12. Uh, I've yeah, it's yeah. I think I
That's
just
really
want to skate.
cool.
That's
Now,
It doesn't
I
matter.
I know that you were doing some or trying to do some lessons in Montreal. How is that going? Have you been doing that?
I've been doing that this summer, but I've had a lot of personal issues lately and a lot of work too. So anytime I had energy, unfortunately, didn't felt like giving roller classes. So I kind of put that on hold. I'll definitely come back to it when I find the energy again and when I feel like the time will be right. But unfortunately, because I really like giving roller classes, unfortunately, I'll have to put that on hold for some time just to get my skating going more
Yeah,
also.
well, that makes sense. I mean, it's always something you can do. And what do you do for work?
I work in daycare. I'm a substitute.
Okay.
So I work through an agency that basically book me in daycare, and I just accept it with an application, and they call me sometime, whatever. But yeah, I'm a substitute in daycare, basically.
Cool. That sounds like a fun
Yeah,
job.
it's really fun, uh, and fortunately for me, there is a big employment crisis in North America in general. So it
Hmm.
was really easy to find a job, and I'm just working every day, but I'm getting paid for the hours. So that's stuck my ring. But yeah, that's like the best scenario.
That's really
So
cool.
yeah.
Now, I had a question on the top of my head, and I
Mhm.
forgot it.
Oh,
um, oh, I was gonna. You're okay. French, Swiss French, going to Quebec. How is the Quebecois French different to you than your French back in Switzerland? Is
um, I mean, Swiss French is different than
mm-hmm.
French. So in general, Quebecois is really it's basically old French because people who arrived there didn't really change their language like France did. France had a big moment. Um, Fuck, what's the name in English? At some point, they kind of revisited the French language and put a bunch of rules and a bunch of really weird things uh, just to make it more complicated for the mass to understand. I mean, that's a theory. That's one of the theory, but yeah, Québécois French sound more terre à terre. En français, in French, we would say terre à terre, so like more grounded, more simple, more welcoming too. Because French from France really sound really arrogant and kind of looking down. How do you say that? Like,
Frowning
yeah,
upon,
sorry.
like frowning upon or looking down at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, and actually, like a lot of French actually look down on Québécois or Belge. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it for me. I think it's Québécois will. It's not it's not the same French definitely than France. Like I've had trouble people understanding me because we're just not using the same word and we're not speaking the same way. We don't have the same intonation, like intonation.
Mm-hmm.
So no, there is a big difference between. I think it's two separated language almost in some
You're gonna have
cases.
to go to New Brunswick and those, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, where they had Acadian French, which is even crazier.
Yeah,
Have you heard
yeah.
that before?
The Canadian
The
French,
Acadian,
Acadian.
Acadia. Yeah,
Not,
it's like a mix of like French and um like native language.
oh no,
It's very
I don't have
strange. Um, anyway, they spoke it out there when I was in New Brunswick, and it was really interesting to listen to. And when they speak, they mix the French and the English together a lot. Their
Oh,
sentences.
that's a thing. A lot of it's kind of it's funny coming from Switzerland, coming here because we also kind of have a language problem with the Swiss German and French, and there is also Italian. But Italian in Switzerland, I feel like doesn't really have a lot of trouble because it really stays in the same area. But there is always kind of a battle, especially during vote, etc., when we can really see a difference between the Swiss German and the French. And so it's kind of funny that in Quebec, all of the Quebecois are really, really proud about Quebecois, but are literally doing literal traduction of English. And it doesn't make sense in French, but it's kind of weird. It's and everyone is also using a lot of English in general. Everyone speak English and French. Everyone sometimes you will just start speaking English with French people without any reason, just
Mm-hmm.
because switch, or like sometimes you'll just hear a English expression all of a sudden from nowhere. So I don't know. Quebecois is interesting, really interesting. I'd say I really like that language, but it's definitely not something you can find elsewhere. That situation right now in Quebec is
Well, Montreal is a great city to be in anyway, if you speak English, because a lot
yeah,
of people speak English there. Unlike when you go to Quebec City,
yeah,
where almost nobody speaks English. So
yeah.
it's a
I
lot more
haven't been to
diverse.
Quebec City.
You haven't been?
Yeah, I've stayed in Montreal and I did a couple of skate parks here and there. I've been in like close to Ottawa, things like that, but I haven't been in Quebec.
There was supposed to be the Quebec camping thing, but it got rained out, right?
Yes, I was supposed to go actually. Yeah, that's right.
No. So we have Maxime is in here. Porteur
Yes,
is the
pour
circle
tour.
of
Yes,
life.
pour
They were.
tour. That's what's up. That's my team. That's with who I'm supposed to skate the most.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, a lot of us got kind of injured and motivation kind of fell back for our order. But yeah, Pourtour, go follow that on Instagram. It's the full circle. It's what brings us all together. There is Pourtour everywhere. With what do you film? A camera.
Mm-hmm.
What's the lens? What's
It's a circle.
the circle?
Yeah.
And a pourtour is a circle.
Uh-huh.
Everything is a pourtour.
Yeah, that's
You
cool.
can see without your pourtour eyes.
Cool. No, I had no idea what it meant until you told me. That's cool.
Pourtour means a circle in French, basically. But it's like a fun word. To
And we also got Robert Guerrero in the house with his Juice Sucker Fool post. Robert,
what that mean?
Juice Sucker Fool. JSF is a crew from the Bay Area of California
Mm-hmm.
that Robert was part of, and there was old Video Groove videos that had crew sections, and that was one of the crews in there, and it's still around, and there's a lot of good skaters in it. So it's just JSF. That's the crew, right, Robert? He's laughing. And then blading his dad, Lauric, letting that soul glow. I see you, playa. um, and back to your skating. What's your favorite trick to do?
Royal.
Royale?
All of my skating come from a Royal. All of it. That's my first trick on almost every spot. Unless I can't do a Royal, for example, a really steep downhill, doing a Royal would be kind of dumb. But My approach in skating is really step by step, and that's what I recommend for everyone. I've learned all of my tricks on every obstacle I could in my skate park. So like flat ledge, then a down ledge, then a flat rail, then a down rail, then a square ledge, and going on and on and on. And so, for example, if I want to do an alley-oop topsoil on a down rail, I'll do a royale first, then I'll do a backslide. So royale on one foot, and then I'll do a kangran, then I'll do 270 backfire, and then I can do an alley-oop topsoil.
Is there any?
So
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, it all comes from the same kind of momentum, and you just turn a bit more at every tricks. And of course, I could just trade up alley-oop topsoil, but mental play a lot in roller, I think, and I need to get my mental ready for a trick before doing it. So
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And Robert Guerrero is with you. Many days I will only do royales.
yeah.
So that's
Royale
really
is
cool.
great. I love it.
And is there a trick you've done like throughout your career that you're the most excited about having accomplished?
That's a good question. Um, I don't know. I still feel like I need to do more. I still feel like I need to. I've done like a 540 alley back far. It's like a 540 carry grind, but you turn a bit more and you're like an alley back far, back torque. But I don't know. Not yet. I need to do it.
This year,
I've done a lot of good trick, but I don't feel I have done an exceptional trick so far. So I need to
Well,
work on that.
I look forward to seeing it. Maybe you can do it in the vault video.
I hope so. Yeah.
So, what events are you going to be going to coming up in the future? Are you going to Blading Cup again? Are you doing
Blading Cup in 2 weeks? Yeah. Blading Cup in 2 weeks.
Anything else?
I hope Bitter Cold Showdown. I hope
that'll be a good one. Bitter Cold would be a good experience.
I also want to go back in Switzerland for a time this winter, and that costs a lot of money.
I'm sure.
And,
not a cheap country.
Not a cheap country, and flights are really expensive to Europe. But for a Blading Cup, I'm gonna be there for a whole week for the Blading Cup, and then I'm gonna be heading to San Francisco. I'll be all the time. I'll be there with my best friend from Switzerland, Samuel Obst. He's also a really, really good rider. He started with me, I think, 5 years ago. I was already on roller for like 3 or 4 years at that point, so I was a level way higher than him, and he catch back. And last time I saw him, he was in some aspect of roller better than me. And so it's gonna be a really sick trip.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, you have your trip planned out. Like, what are you gonna be doing for that week, and what are you gonna do in San Francisco? Have you planned everything?
I'm good. I'm doing a call on here. If you have a place for me in Santa Ana, LA, or San Francisco, I'm down. I'll pay, of course, something if you need to. And yeah, I don't have any plans yet. That's I'll see what's up there, I guess.
You heard it. I had your Instagram page. I can post it up here. So if you have a place for Lauric to stay in Orange County, LA, or San Francisco, you can hit him up on Instagram, which I have right here. So add Lauric on Instagram and contact him, and just contact him and tell him how awesome of a person he is, or hook him up with a place to stay. I'm sure he'll be excited about either one. And then, so you'll be traveling. Like, is there any place you want to go specifically on this trip, or are you just like gonna play it as it goes?
I'll play it as it goes. Honestly, in general, I'll just skate whatever someone will give me. When I skate with Iqon in Montreal, for example, I'm just like, I'll come with y'all and I'll skate the same spot, and I might find a spot right aside of it and skate it. But yeah, in general, I just want to skate. So
Cool.
I'll skate whatever. I'll skate. I do really want to skate like the big pipes in LA. I
Hmm.
don't really know exactly where it is, but those huge things. In San Francisco, downhill. Downhill. I really want to do downhill there.
Well, I'll definitely hit some people up, let them know you're coming because I
Yeah,
know a lot of people in
yeah.
those places. So I can shoot a couple messages and let people know that you will be out
That'd be
there.
amazing.
And that's
Yeah.
the week after winter. I mean, the week after Blading Cup, you're going to go up to San Francisco.
Yeah, basically, for now, my plan is to stay, our plan, because I'll be with my best friend
Hmm.
from Switzerland. And our plan is to stay in Santa Ana at least until the 8th. Maybe the full week until I don't have my calendar and date, but maybe the full week after. So do a full 2 weeks and then head for a few days or a week in San Francisco. We have a flight from San Francisco to go back in Montreal, so we have to go in San Francisco at some point.
All right.
But everything between Blading Cup and San Francisco, so between the 6th and the 24th, I have nothing planned. So
All right.
hit me up.
Cool.
I'll be glad to skate whatever with whoever.
Well, again, you can hit up Lauric on Instagram. There's his
Yeah.
Instagram account for you to hit up. And now, moving on to your skates, you're skating. We're going back. You're on the Roces,
Mhm.
Fifth Elements,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
are you skating them stock, like stock frames, stock wheels?
No, I can try to do. I'll just go get them. They're right behind me. But I'm skating. I'm skating them with actually L-sized FLT4 frame. So it's a M skate with a L frame because
Okay.
I felt like something longer could help me, especially because I want to inspire more from skiing, and I guess that could help. But
Does
yeah, I just
it does the ground control frames?
yeah the FLT4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the best frame in street.
They look
Imani,
good.
Imani put me on, and I have to put you on. They're the best. I didn't had any wheel bite on it.
Really cool. And
So,
then the wheels you're on.
I still have the Iqons.
Mm.
I wasn't able to buy a new one, unfortunately.
Emery didn't hook you up with some wheels yet.
Sorry?
I said Emery hasn't put you on the team yet.
Talk with him. Nah, their team is full. I totally understand it.
Yeah, they
They
have a lot of people.
yeah.
So Liam asked Winter Clash. I think you said you're going to try to go to Winter Clash, right? But
Yeah, because
nothing concrete.
nothing concrete, but I there is a big possibility because I want to go there, but if I go in Switzerland for Christmas time, I'm not sure I'll come back in Europe for the Winter Clash. It wouldn't really make sense.
Right.
So maybe if I don't come from holiday for holiday time, I'll come later and just do a straight up Switzerland and Winter Clash
mm-hmm.
all at once. But I don't know. I'll see what's up. I maybe should plan more, but most of the time it work out really great. So
Yeah, I mean, I think big trips. The only thing I ever plan is the flights. Make sure I
yeah,
get them in time. And other than that, once I
yeah,
get there, I just go with whatever happens.
exactly.
Uh, I have very few things set up. Now, you're skating flat on those frames. You ever skated anti-rocker in your life,
Yeah.
or always flat?
Oh no, I've started with anti-rocker and I was full on anti-rocker for a long time, and then I skated Aeons. I had maybe 5 pair of Aeons. I started skating flat with them without even thinking. I just bought them and skated them like they were, and I didn't have any trouble. For a time, I switched to anti-rocker because I didn't have money for the wheel, so I was just finding it more simple. And I wasn't for the longest time like until maybe 6 months ago. I was basically just skating what I had, and I didn't. I never cared about my roller. I never like took care of them or
Hmm.
even care about what I was skating. If it wasn't hurting me and how I could skate in that, I'll skate it. But yeah, I've skated for a long time on the Iqon with the anti-rocker, and yeah, switching to flap really make me skate even more. Make me love skating even more.
Yeah, it gives you it looks smoother when you skate that way, and you can
Yeah,
go faster.
lots smoother, and I can just skate two spots with my skate on. And I tried when I received the stock roller, the stock Roces. I skated the frame for a session, and I know some people love the frame, but it's not for me. And skating anti rocker after skating flat for a long time was really weird.
I don't
Yeah,
think that I mean, there's not a lot of really good stock frames that have ever come out. You know,
yeah,
back in the day, it was nice because you got some razors and they had like ground control frames on them already, so you already had a good skate, a good frame on your skates. But
yeah.
generally, stock frames, you take them off and you upgrade them. Same with the wheels.
Yeah.
And what size wheels are you on right now?
58.
And what's the biggest size wheel you've ever skated?
60, I think, on Aeon. Uh, and I mean, I did had a urban setup for a time. I mean, I just had the icon frame that I was putting on my skate.
How did you
But
skate those around Montreal at all?
yeah, I did. I never filmed anything in fitness skate, but I do use them a lot. I really like just to go around the city with that and just go really fast.
Did you ever go on any of the group skates in Montreal,
Yeah,
like
I
the nice
did.
skates?
I did went 3 or 4 times at the Luminous event, and now
Mhm.
it's light up the 514. It changed name, it changed organizer, but it's basically the same thing. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really hope those things are gonna continue and grow more and more because that's just like the um, purest way of skating. Just
It's my favorite. Big group
you did it.
skates
You
at
did it
night,
on
going around the
this.
city. It's so much fun,
Yeah,
and you get to see it. You just get a. It's the best way to see a city, to explore a
yeah,
city is on skates. You take it in. When you drive, everything just goes by. But when you're skating, like you explore more and you find other spots.
yeah.
For aggressive skating or whatever. Um, and have you ever tried wizard blading?
I did, and I really want to go on Wizard. I tried. Oh fuck. I'm hating myself because I love that guy skating. But one of the guy who do Wizard in Toronto,
Hmm.
when he was in Montreal, he let me borrow his advanced frame,
Yeah.
and they were like huge. And I just put them on, and I started skating around in the skate park, and it just felt so good. I feel like I was skiing in a skate park.
Was it
Uh,
Benny?
Sorry.
Was it Benny?
No, it's his friend TG
Okay.
on his.
I don't remember the other guy's name.
But yeah,
They're
it's
both
the
good.
friend of, and yeah, he. I since then I really want to get on Wizard, but I also really want to get on quads, and I also
I'd love
really
to see you
uh,
on Wizards frames. I think you
yeah.
would shred those uh, with your style and everything. Be
Oh,
pretty
it's
cool.
TG. Dan said it's TG. Yeah, TG.
TJ, that's right. Yeah, TJ.
TJ. Yeah,
What was really interesting about Montreal Cup is it was the first skating contest. Now, Wizard Frames have been around for quite a while now, but they've gotten really popular, in the past couple of years. But
yeah,
Montreal Cup was the first skate contest where I've ever seen people compete in pro on Wizard
yeah.
skates, and there's two people on Wizard setups in the pro street comp,
Hmm.
which was crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Montreal is that the city in general, all of the community, all of the oh, yeah, all of the community and everyone just get together, and it doesn't really matter if you're doing exactly the same thing or the same sport or like quad the quad community and the inline community find themselves really often both on the same skate park at the same time, and yeah, we just I think Montreal really like to mix things up, and that's what uh, got me staying there. And I
Yeah.
hope I'll see more with our skater at the next event.
Well, I wish I got out there more this year because it's the closest city to me, but it's still 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And going to the Friday night skates, which I really want to do, but you can't just drive there, do the Friday night skate, and come back. It's way too late. So you have to find a place to stay, and it gets expensive.
Yeah. I'd gladly host you, but I'm still at my grandparents. When I'll have my
that's
parents,
perfect.
I'll host you without any problem.
That's really cool. Now, David's got a question for you. What trick gets him a letter in a game of Blade? That's a good one to know.
I like true spin topside. I'm working on it, but I have really, really good true spin regular, like true spin soul. It's like a really easy trick for me. But true spin topside is somehow really difficult. I mean, it's because I guess I'm turning normal, but for me it's switch because my skating is really weird. Like I have a bunch of switch in my more normal and a bunch of normal in my switch. But yeah, true topside, fakey half cab, some tricks. I have a good vocabulary, but somehow miss some really basic trick. Like I don't know, fakey half cab back savannah, impossible. I think you'll get me later really easily. But I can also maybe I'll pull it off at the very end. I'll just make it happen. But
What about True Spin Soyal?
true spin, I'll get that one. That's one of the true spin I have. I guess true spin top one star, true spin fish, true spin misfit, true spin top acid, and anything half cab true spin top side. And yeah, there is just like a way of turning that I just don't get. Like, and strangely, my friend from Switzerland actually have all of those tricks super easily, and that's like his easiest tricks for him.
That's really cool. So I love playing horse. I don't really get to play it. I don't really get to skate that much living in Vermont. But when I was in Austin, we skated almost every day, and we played horse all the time at the skate park. And that's the best way. Game of horse, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you get a letter. If you miss a trick,
Yeah.
like you do a trick, I do a trick, I miss it, then I get a letter H for horse. And they call it Blade. You guys call it a game of Blade.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, horse blade.
Oh, okay, horse blade is the
same. It's just what you call it for it's from basketball. So you call it in basketball when you throw the basket, the other person has to do it. But yeah, that's such a great way to warm up at the skate park. Doing that first for an hour.
That's the best way to learn any trick. I learn most of my tricks just doing skate with my friends, with my friend, in skate parks. And my teacher that I had, Diego Lupi, teach me teach me the most when we were doing skates, because that's so motivating to just I do that trick and you do another one. And I don't know. That's for me. It's the best way to learn tricks, and I've seen anyone I did skate with them learn new tricks or unlock something, and I think it helped a lot. Yeah.
So Sandro, he's been pushing this true fish.
Yes.
True fish grab. He's calling you out.
No, but every time I see him, he asks me to true fish. I can't remember when he started, but yeah, no, I can't true fish. I mean, I can, but now I'll just make it like I can't. Now you want it so much that I'm just not gonna do it. It's like reverse, not psychology, but yeah.
Your friend Liam is going to bed. It's 2:30 a.m. back in Switzerland.
Go in bed.
And we're gonna. I mean, we're getting close towards the end of the interview. I've gone through most of my questions. I have a few more. If there's anybody in the live chat or the 20-something, 18 people in the live chat right now, if any of you have questions for Lauric that we didn't cover, go ahead and post those, and we'll go to those at the very end after I ask my other questions, which aren't really skating related. They're more like music. What do you listen to?
I listen to a bunch of different things. I'm really into French rap. It motivates me a lot. More like underground French rap. It's really aggressive. I don't know how to describe it, but I'll make a really good clip with French rap really soon. I mean, I'm hoping to do it. So you'll see. French rap, in general, more like rap when they say we're the best, we're killing everyone, and we sell a bunch of drugs. When I'm skating, I don't know, it motivates me. And sometimes I just listen to really, really chill indie music also. It really depends on the mood I have for the session. If I would just want to chill, do some toe roll or like try some switch trick, something like that, I'll listen to chill indie rock. But when I'm getting into like a contest vibe, I'll listen to French rap.
Cool. Now, how's French rap compared to Quebecois rap?
Quebecois rap is more in still in kind of uh, cloud phase. Like it's more like cloudy the way they rap, the way they do. It's like I don't know. Yeah, it's more how to describe that. I could find some one of the guy I listen to in French rap. But yeah, it's really different. But they do a lot of collaboration between each other because it's kind of on the same wave. Uh,
We've got Benjamin Sanders in here twice with two different accounts showing his support. Um, who is, and your style, your fashion. You're pretty on point with fashion and style. Where do you get your influence, and what? How would you describe your style?
I don't think I have one specific style. I just kind of wear what I want. Um, I think Matthias, for example, the guy, a bell bottom guy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, helped me kind of discover more my fashion and kind of like was like, yeah, wear crop tops, wear uh, bell bottom. No one cares. Just dress however you want.
Unbutton your shirt.
Hmm?
I said unbutton your shirt.
Unbutton your shirt, exactly. But no, I don't like in roller. I don't have a specific inspiration. I just kind of do whatever feels right to me. And yeah, I like to look good. Sometimes I like to be a bit classy. Sometimes I like to be really trashy, baggy. I have a bunch of different style, and I want to show it more on roller. I think that roller needs that more because unfortunately, roller fashion wasn't really popping off. But right now we need blashy.
Well, I feel like your crew, your two guys you skate with the most in Montreal, also share some similar traits with style a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
earrings and things like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
We're all
you guys are definitely you could definitely tell you guys are like a crew.
yeah. It's the Porto crew.
Yeah, and that's really
So,
cool.
yeah.
Now, another question I have for you, non skating, is food. What is
Food.
your favorite food in Montreal or in Quebec? And
So
is there anything you miss from Switzerland?
yeah, cheese. Cheese is the thing I miss the most. In general, the quality of food, we can find really good quality food in North America, but I feel like in Europe it's still a bit more natural in every way. But I can't eat gluten or lactose.
Okay.
So I have a really weird diet kinda. I eat a lot of fruit and vegetable, a lot of rice, potatoes and eggs is the thing I eat the most. I think I eat a bag of chips every day,
Which
but like the
chips?
big bags, like every day,
What's your
because
favorite?
nature. Just I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's the one I eat the most because
Okay.
being gluten and lactose intolerant and broke, it's kind of hard finding food when I'm outside. So most of the time, a banana and a pack of chips is like the best I can get. So yeah, but my favorite food, I really like poutine here. Poutine is I'm not supposed to eat it because there is gluten in it and lactose in the cheese. Cheese is the only thing I gaslighted myself into thinking it wasn't doing any harm to me because I just I just can't remove everything and not being able to eat cheese. But yeah, poutine. Asian food. Asian food in general, I love it, and it's really healthy most of the time.
Well, I mean, Chinatown in Montreal is amazing. It's like my
Yeah,
favorite place to eat there. I'm
yeah.
already plan on going there first thing on Saturday to get some dim sum. So
No,
that's the plan. At Ruby Rouge. Have you been there? In
where?
Chinatown? It's called Ruby Rouge. It's like a dim sum restaurant in
Yeah,
Chinatown.
I heard about it. I
It's
didn't go.
really good. I went there last time. My
Oh,
Anthony. I don't know if you met Anthony, shorter Filipino skater, like my age, that lives in Montreal. He's pretty cool.
probably yeah, but like I said, I have a terrible memory.
So I'm gonna
So
go with him. He's a real cool dude, and he's like from the old. He's like old school
yeah,
Quebec skater.
nice.
Um, and he's the expert on dim sum in Chinatown there. So that's who I'm going with.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
um, I'm almost done with my questions. So I'm going to call out to the group one last time. If there's any questions you have, go ahead and post them. There's one from Dan, and that's favorite skate fit in the industry, and by fit he meant fashion. So favorite skate fashion.
Favorite skate fashion. I don't know. There is a bunch of guys. I like what the Kelso brother are doing. They are a really different style, but I really like both of them. I like the like kind of baggy, all tattoo and a lot of graphics and like drippy style of Sheen. But I also really like the like kind of classy, really easy and really just well made style of Colin. Then I like the whole Mesmer Crew style, kind of the rock aesthetic is really cool. I mean, they don't all have a rock thing, but most of them do. And bell bottoms and like cropped T-shirt and open button up are a thing they really wear. They wear a lot. JK fashion is really good. Um, Bobby, of course, Bobby. His his outfit are always like perfect. Um, who else? Yuto too, but I don't feel like those riders are like. I mean, Yuto, I don't feel like he's, for example, or Colin searching to like have a style, but they just wear their clothes and
Mhm.
it's their style, but they're not searching to be fashion or whatever. So it's a different approach. Um, but yeah, I mean, of course, Matthias style is amazing. Matthias Rude. uh, and
And he moved to New York now, right? He lives in New York City.
yeah, he lives in New York. Yeah, yeah. He moved there. I'm out down in a few years. Because I was born in the States. I never got back until last year Blading Cup, but I am actually a U.S. citizen, so I'll probably go there in a few years to explore a bit New York.
You are. Wait, you said you're a U.S. citizen?
Yeah, I was born in the States, but my parents moved in Germany first and then Switzerland. But they
Oh
moved in
wow.
US when I was one. Then I arrived in Switzerland when I was like 2 or 3, and I just lived all of my life there. And the first time I got back in the US after I was born was in California. The time I won it, I won the amateur.
Oh, where were you born at?
Providence, with Rhode Island.
Oh, so New England.
Sorry.
I said in New England here in this area.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
yeah, that's cool.
yeah,
I had no idea. That's really cool.
yeah.
And David wants to know or asks, can he talk about his interest for fashion?
Where does it come from? I guess that would be the question. Like, why?
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I've always liked to dress good, and I've really getting into like the last few years. Um, I don't know. For at first I just wanted to be a cool guy, and now I just really like to. It's like roller for me. It's a passion like roller for me. It's playing with different pieces, finding good things that go together, and I don't know. It's like it's funny for me. I don't know. It's um it gave me a lot of confidence too. And I don't really know actually. Like I just picked up on it, and
Would you be interested in going into a career in fashion?
yeah, I thought it was if I was going back to school, I would maybe do a fashion school.
Hmm.
I did some modeling a bit in Switzerland here, there, and in Montreal too. But it do take a lot of time, and I don't have the time right now. But yeah, in general, fashion is I think my second big interest after roller. I also do jewelry. I just do it for myself. I never try to sell it, or I didn't even really show it on Instagram. But I like to like make my own custom jewelry pieces.
And someone asks, Ben Sanders asks about your necklace. Is there a significance of the necklace?
That one, that's just a chain. That's the first ever chain I had when I was 16. I wanted to do a makeover, start seeing girls, etc. So I just bought that. It's like silver and another metal maybe. And I don't know. I just always have to wear jewelry. I have rings. I have a bunch of jewelry over there, and no, I nothing I wear really have a significance. It's just for the fun of it.
Do you skate in your rings?
I do,
Do
and
you ever concerned about catching them? Because I've seen two or
it
three
happened
people
one
rip their
time.
fingers off before with the rings.
Yeah, it happened one time. I was at my home skate park in Switzerland, and we have a resi, so a ramp in resi, so the plastic thing, right? And so they had little string on the side of it, and they were like that ramp, and the thing was going down, and so I just wanted to catch one of the string and jump in the ramp just to get some speed. And it was big string, so it wasn't supposed to do that. But one of my ring just got caught up, just like did like that. I didn't lost my finger, but I did have a big cut on my finger, on actually that one.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, that was scary, but I don't really see an occasion I could get my finger stuck into something because of my rings, unless that thing. That was really dumb because
Well, what happened? There's a skater. His name's Mac McMeans. He worked for Razors at the Escondido skate park. He caught his finger on a screw that was sticking out, or he
uh,
caught his ring on a screw that was sticking out, and it just pulled all the skin from the knuckle off. And then they had to cut the bone, and he has like a wooden
yeah,
finger
I
now.
see how it could happen in the situation I had.
Yeah, and that
That
happened
was
to another skater in Houston too. So yeah, I always like see the rings. I'm like, it depends. Obviously, it depends on what you're skating, but make sure it's not a shitty skate park that has a bunch of screws sticking out.
yeah, I'll make sure.
And then let me see. Vinny wanted to know if you're skating. Are you rolling the fifth elements? Are you skating anything else as well, or did they give you any other skates than that?
No, well, I only have the fifth element. I'm gonna have the Yuto. I hope before Bleeding Cup. And that's it. I would like to have another pair of fitness skate. So when I get the Yuto, maybe I'll buy a frame from for the fifth I already have and have like two to set up like that. But no, right now I only have those skates.
And then Ben asks, how important are crash pads gear to you? Do you skate any pads?
Yes, you need only two things: shin guard and
Wrist
wrist
guards?
wrist guard. I have since it's been 5 years. No, it's been since I've started skating almost. I'm wearing protection. But something I discovered with my roller teacher I had in Switzerland, Diego Lupi. You basically only need soccer shin guard, and when you learn how to fall on that, you almost never catch my knee. It happened a few times, but it's always like a dumb mistake that make me catch my knee on something or like hurt my knee. But most of the time, when you learn to fall with shin guard, you will always catch yourself with those. And the only thing I should have been more careful with my wrist because it started to hurt like at every small impact. So now I'm just wearing it all the time. Maybe I should have done that earlier. But
And you
yeah,
suffered an injury, right? Was that your wrist, or what did I know you were hurt a couple months ago?
after I mean I'm always getting hurt because I only do roller, and
Hmm.
so my left leg is way less muscular than my right leg. So there is a balance that I don't really get, and so I keep like uh, compensating with my right leg, and so then at some point my right leg is tired, so then it start hurt, so I have to compensate with my left leg, and so for a time it worked, but then it's my left leg who hurt, and yeah, and it goes all over my body, like I can see it. I'm working on it, though I'm seeing a physio and I'm doing exercise, etc., and I'm getting better, like it's way better than before. But my injury are almost always the same. It's I skate too much, and I don't do exercise aside of it.
No,
So
stretching and exercise is very
yes,
beneficial. Doing yoga, something like that.
yeah,
Um, Caroline wanted to know if you're going to give classes this winter. We had mentioned that you took a break from classes and you're not sure when you're going to start again. Is that right? So
yeah.
probably not this
Caroline,
winter, or
yeah, I really want to do classes in Taz, and I will have more times, of course, because I'm not going to be able to skate every day. So I hope I'll see that after Blading Cup. I'll figure everything out. But there is a big possibility I do classes this winter, at least a few times. And Caroline is a friend of mine. And so, yeah, anyone in Montreal, if anyone come in Montreal and you're skating with me, never hesitate to ask for advice. I love to help people out and not do a lesson, but just give a few advice and maybe another perspective that you didn't saw or whatever. Like, yeah.
cool.
So I'm planning on doing, yeah.
Now, the Squilly Experience says, met Lauric at Blading Cup last year. Big shout out to him. So that's a shout out from the Squilly Experience.
Thank you. Yeah.
Um, and COVID Review wants to know, is that a perm? Do you have naturally curly hair? Do you curl it
Oh,
yourself?
yeah, it's 100% natural. I take care a lot of it, so I try to wash them once a week because I've noticed that the curl are way better when I wash them less often. And I wet them with only cold water, and I try to never wet them before going to bed or like putting a cap on or whatever. And so yeah, I put some product sometime, but thanks genetic,
And it's
honestly.
a really cool mullet, curly mullet too. It's
Yeah,
not just like
I mean,
give us a side view. Yeah, see, I've got a
yeah,
mullet going too,
it,
but it's kind of I need to
yeah,
trim it
I
down a
like
little
your
bit.
mullet too. Mine is more like just long hair at this point. It's not really a mullet that much anymore,
Uh
and
huh.
I need to like do a bit of trim here and
Yeah, that's
there.
what I have to do. Mine's kind of like disappeared.
Yeah,
Um, and then the Squilly Experience wants to know. Well, you had talked about this before, but he asked how you like the Fifth Element. So
they're
you can.
the for me downsizing them. They're the best kit I ever had. Like it's so weird that it's like I discover a whole new world now after 8 years of skating with just taking a size under what I was having. So yeah, they work out great. They are actually really good quality. Like I honestly didn't knew Roces skate that much before, and for me it was like the aeons of Roches, the Fifth Element, kind of like the most stunning skate. So not necessarily the best quality, but they actually still make a really solid sound and still work really really well without having to do anything after now a month of skating, and I've been skating almost every day. So yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't skated. The last time I had Roces was when they first came out with Majestic 12s in like 1998. Was the last time I
Oh
had Roces, so it's been a long time. But I like
yeah.
those skates a lot. And the modern Majestic 12s look even better. But those ones were really cool. They were like pretty much the first, I think like the first really good aggressive skate that came out. Um, and then let me see. Imani's in the chat. We've brought him up a few times
Yeah.
today. He asks, "Do you prefer Makio or backflip?"
No, topside Makio.
Prefer topside Makio.
Yeah, backflip. Backflip. By the way, I'll do a backflip at the end of every of my line. It's like a rule for me now.
I've seen you
Uh,
do at least 3 backflips in person.
yeah, I mean when I say, but it's more a flat spin that I do most of the
Yeah,
time. But people like to call it a backflip because I turn like kind of like that. So yeah, but I prefer backflip. I think for me, at least, my backflip is easier to do it than a fish brain because I've just done it so many times, just without even thinking about it. Now I do it at the end of every of my line with the with going like at 2 kilometers per hour and going at 30. I'll do it at any speed on any ramp.
that's cool. And Ebony, I talked to him in Montreal last time about getting him on the show to talk about Orange Wheels with Charles and some other people. So hopefully we can get together and do that sometime here in the near future. We've got another Montreal skater in the
Yeah,
house, Guillaume,
yeah.
and I haven't seen him in a while, since before COVID, I don't think. So it's good to see him in the live chat. Now, I've got through all my questions. We've got through the ones in the live chat. If anyone else has any questions, you can post those. Do you have anything you want to mention? Do you have any questions for me?
Um, I should have thought about that before. Um, uh, huh. How did you start at roller?
How did I start?
Yeah,
I started with just urban skating. So,
yeah.
I got some skates from my neighbor, just skated around the neighborhood, went downtown, skated the city, skated stairs, did roller hockey. Um, and then
Yeah,
it got, oh, I
yeah,
skipped somebody. Who did I skip? SSJ
yeah.
Media.
He asked about aggressive inline game.
Oh, yeah, that was a good question, too. Sorry, SSJ Meta. Um, asked him if he's ever played aggressive inline the video game, and if so, who was his character of choice?
Unfortunately, I was too young and I didn't had a console for most of. I didn't have a console when I grew up, so I never really was on that video game thing. So unfortunately, no. But when I played Frankie Morales on the aggressive. I can't remember the name of it, but like the most popular game. I've played it this summer when I actually was on colocation. How do you say that? I lived with someone else in the same apartment. We had
Okay.
like this roommate. I had a roommate who was doing roller and who had one of those old game, and I was playing Frankie Morales on that one.
I've never played any of those video games, so
Oh, yeah?
not no
Oh,
none of them.
oh, I thought
It was like
you
rolling.
all of them.
And then Guillaume asks, "What are the next projects with the solo team?"
Oh, a bunch of things we still have to discuss about. But I mean, we can do everything basically. Maybe a collaboration with them, kind of like Charles Montel did. That's something we need to think about. I would hope a video team, maybe. Maybe a trip that would be cool. Competition. And oh yeah, that's the time I should say that. But beginning of December, I really, really, really want to organize a cash for tricks slash project for tricks, whatever, at the Spin or the Taz beginning of December. So that's a project I'm on and that I want to do.
Cool. That sounds really cool.
So I'll
Just
let you
let
know. Yeah,
you have to let me know when you do that.
yeah.
Um, and then Pierre asks, "I seen Lauric practicing double flat on the foam pit. Have you landed on regular ramps?"
I never landed it, but I threw it 3 times when I was 16, right before, like a week before COVID hit and everything shut down. So I never was able to throw it back again because I was at the point before COVID when technically I was at my best I've ever had before a few months ago, I'd say. I finally like got back a lot of my tricks because COVID helped me a lot discover my fashion and discover myself, and overall also making new friends outside of roller, etc. But it also really slowed me down on my progression because before that I was learning 1260s, double flat spin. I was planning on going to the fees, doing all of the fees. I was really, really like just going further and further every time. I was doing 540 topsoul easily and shit like that. And it took me a long time to get back all of those tricks. But double flat spin is still something I have in mind. Unfortunately, Montreal doesn't have any good jump for that.
Why are the fees skaters so much better than everyone else? Like at Park, I mean,
Because
the
they
level
all,
of tricks they do, it's like a video game.
yeah, because it's you have to be perfect. So they train so much. Like Gabi Diaco, for example, that I respect a lot, will always do his cork 1080 or 1260, and Julien Kudo his double backflip, and I don't know who else. Nicolas Servu his Mystic League gap, and they all have the same tricks that they do at every contest on different obstacle, but it's the same trick and it's a lot of repetition. And the thing is with fees, you can only get good on fees if you do fees. You can't train for fees outside of the fees event, almost can't. So that's why there is only like a really few skater that can actually skate a fees course really well, because it's the only one who do all of the steps of the fees and who just train for that almost only.
That makes
But
sense.
when you take that to another competition like Diaby Diaco did at Winter Clash, it worked out really great.
Hmm. And then Guillaume wants to do a Taz edit someday.
Yes, Guillaume, whenever you want, we need to do a video together. Whenever you want, we will message each other. I'm down for that. That's a really good idea.
And Emily says we need to see you at Feast.
Yeah, it's in my head for sure. I don't think this year because this year I'm trying to be more street core, whatever that means, but just be more like yeah. I want to do more street, even though I don't do a lot, but I try at least in park, not do too much park thing. But yeah, when after I'll do a really good street session and I'll maybe win a street competition or whatever, I'll come back at the fizz because I still have those rotation. I did 1260 a month ago. I relearned it and relearned it, but yeah, cost a lot of money and I have other project right now.
I've seen a couple of old sections of you skating Park. Have you ever done a street edit before? Or is this going to be your
Never.
first one?
I actually never. I don't have. I don't have a good section on YouTube. My last one was the one at Venice Beach with Iqon.
Hmm.
That was good, but it took like 2 hour. Yeah, 1.5 hour maybe to film all of it. It was like a really quick thing. I wasn't even really thinking about it. I was just doing my tricks and they filmed it and it looked really dope. But I right now I really feel like I need like a good trick session to kind of like assert myself in roller.
And how often do you guys film in Montreal? Do you film every session, or is it
For street or just in general?
just in general?
In general, I mean, right now, you've seen on Instagram, I've just made a conclusion that every session I was getting in like a competition almost. So why not film it? And so right now I'm filming every session, and I mean, I try to really just go like, yeah, I'll do 3 tries, and I do those 3 tries, and I land it or I don't land it. Sometimes,
Hmm.
most of the time, it take way more than 3 tries. But I try to film as much as I can because I've been doing so much really cool tricks that I never shown and that I've just been working on it. So I feel like I'm at a point right now where I need to take over the social media.
Yeah.
Only like
Oh,
only followers.
social
That's
media
it.
is, today is the way to promote yourself. Times have changed, and you were
Yeah.
never really part of the old analog era of blading, where it was just magazines and DVDs and VHS
I
tapes. You
never had
kind
a
of,
roller magazine before.
yeah,
Wait, I need to remember. Just before that one.
oh yeah, I got that one.
I,
Skeleton Owl.
Yeah, I never. That was my first ever roller magazine I hold in my hands, and someone, I mean, the Skeleton Isle gave it to me at the Blading Cup, and
Yeah, that's really cool. Piece
so
of
that's
blading
the
history right there.
yeah
Your first magazine. That's
first
awesome.
magazine. Yeah,
And then Guillaume says, "Cash for tricks at Taz, please. Let's rent it
yes,
out for a night session. If you guys rent it out for
that's
a night
great.
session, I'm gonna try to go to the night sessions this winter for sure.
Yeah,
Again, it's
but
just always finding a place to stay there, which makes it difficult.
I hope by that time I'll have an apartment, and if that's the case, I'll host you.
Well, that would be
Yeah,
awesome. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm pretty much out of questions here.
yeah.
Again, if you have a place for Lauric in LA, Orange County,
Mhm.
or San Francisco during and after Blading Cup, make sure and hit him up on Instagram. Go ahead and follow him on Instagram as well at Lauric Picard. You have a TikTok too, right?
Yeah, it's
What's
Lauric
what?
Picard.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and link your socials in the description below so people can click on it, check out what you have, all your clips and everything. They can start following you and giving you a place to stay if possible. And we'll go one last question for Guillaume. This is the last question we're doing. What do you think about the new Huntsick skate park? By the way, Jan, we have tons of new concrete skate parks. I know that you guys have all sorts of new parks and pump tracks. I've
Yeah,
seen them.
Untitled Skate Park though is the best skate park in Montreal. It has been built 2 weeks ago. I think it was done. My last reel, if it's from that, and it's my new favorite skate park. It's like we can see a rail on my reel where I do a backslide 12 topsoul 540 out, and that rail is just perfect. The whole skate park is perfect. There is everything you need. There is a small streak section, a big streak section, a ramp, half of a bowl, a volcano, extension. Like everything is really, really smooth concrete. Just like it's like perfect.
That's cool.
So
Hopefully I can check it out next weekend.
yeah,
That'd be awesome. Um,
yeah,
yeah. And what else was there? Oh, yeah. I have a bunch of shows coming up on this channel. Well, I've been posting a bunch of shorts. So if you're into things like that, you can check those out. Lots of old tricks in the shorts area of this page.
yeah.
But tomorrow I have another live chat. It's going to be an episode of Let's Talk Rollerblading. And it's with the guest I had for the last one, which is Frank Stoner. And we have a bunch of topics we're going to talk about. And if you want to wake up early, because it's an early show tomorrow, it's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. on the West Coast. But it's going to be an interesting chat about rollerblading. For anybody, this is just for people watching this show right now.
But
And on
in
what's that?
yeah, continue. Sorry. What time is gonna be in Montreal the show?
At 10 a.m. 10 in the morning. All right. Yeah. So me and Frank will talk rollerblading. It should be interesting for you because we just talk about a bunch of old stuff and our opinions. And Frank's somebody I've known since 1996, so long history with him. On Monday, episode 28 of the Them Now Blading podcast with Mike Martino. That should be a good one. The following Monday, episode 29 with Robert Guerrero. And the Monday after that will be episode 30 with Jason Howard. I'm going to start trying to do Mondays for most of the podcast, but obviously we're doing a Thursday right now, so it's not going to be consistently every Monday, but I'm going to try to make it a little bit more easy for people to, watch the show. And I should try to get Sandro on this show because Sandro's a legend, which would be pretty cool. He's got a lot to say. And, I also have these beautiful cups of me. The Jan.
Oh, I need one.
Then and Now Blading cups, and I have merch. I have a link to my merch in the description below. I have links to my social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I have links to Lauric's social media. So follow all of us on social media. And if you enjoyed this video or if you enjoyed this interview, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already, hit the bell icon to be notified of all new uploads, and share this video with your friends so everyone can find out more about Lauric and the new young youth generation of rollerblading, which is very important and is the future of the sport. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this show. I will see you all here next time. Well, maybe tomorrow morning if you wake up earlier, but Monday, coming up with Michael Martino here on the Then and Now Blading YouTube channel.